and welcome back. Today we have a different type of video, but it's been a super highly requested one, especially if you watch my streams where I decorate my cabins. Lots of people have been asking for a video about all of my visitor cabins, or just the cabins in general, because I tend to decorate cabins that aren't just for visitors. Like, this is my little personal cabin. It's got a lot of my favorite items in it. Of course, a million Cinnamoroll things, because we all know that I love him so much. But yeah, I thought that it was the perfect time to make this video because furniture stacking is now out on all platforms. So if you don't know what that is, it is like it sounds, how you can actually stack whatever you want, basically. Like, look, I always use these dance hall benches as shelves. They're benches, you know, but they look so good on the wall as shelves. It's honestly perfect. And that's just one little tip that I have for y'all today. So yeah, stay tuned and I'll go through some of my favorite visitor cabins that I've made so far. Let's start off by going to the Merry Meadow. Some of my favorite cabins that I've ever made here. So let's pop into Roseannes first. This one is one of my favorites. As you can see, it is very unique and I've used a lot of unconventional items to make it look sort of like a two-level, split-level little apartment for her. But yeah, one of my biggest tips is obviously using items that you wouldn't think to use. Like, these are tables, right? That's the coastal dining table, and then the one from the Sunshine Celebration as well. And these are the half walls from the Imagination Celebration. But yeah, I love, love, love to use these pillars and putting either a bookshelf or an aquarium in there. I just think it looks so good to split up the space. And obviously you can still walk everywhere, which is one of my main goals with cabins, is to make everything still pretty accessible. But yeah, I love this little like lofted area for her. You'll see me do this in a lot of my cabins because I love how it makes the space like so much more dynamic and stuff. But yeah, let's hop on over to another cabin. Let's go to Chico's. Chico has a super cute one in my opinion. There is quite a lot of like empty space in the middle, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I do love how I made her little lofted bed using these benches as little steps. I think it just looks really good. And another dance hall bench as a shelf. And I really like how I put the little sandbox down there. So it fills up the space a little more instead of just having it empty underneath the bed. And then let's hop over into this middle cabin and we can take a look at Lou's. This one's pretty basic. I wanted to show you this little trick of putting the archways and such on top of the bed to give it sort of like a nice like canopy bed frame vibe. I really like to do that, not just with this one, but also with like the string lights from the dance hall. That's a good one too. I wonder if you could do it with this as well, maybe. Oh, maybe on the side or something. I don't know. So honestly, playing around with the stacking is so much fun. And just being able to put little items on top of other things, I don't know, it gives you a little elevated look. Now on to Pocos Room. This one, in my opinion, is a little chaotic, but I love this little like terraced area. This is like his little tea room, you know, lots of tables and such. Using these tables as like a circular stairway. For now, I'm gonna take this arch off so we can see it just a little bit better. But you can actually walk up here and you can walk over it. I could have made it another one wide so there was like an empty walkway, but it doesn't have to be functional. I just want to be able to like walk there, you know? And yeah, I just love these vibes so much. And yeah, these are just kitchen counters that I dyed to match all of this Luck and Lanterns stuff. And look, you can even see putting the lanterns on top of the lights also just like elevates it a little bit more, you know? So let's look at another one. We can head on over to, let's go to the Spooky Swamp. I've got one of my all-time favorite cabins here. Chers Cabin is one of my favorites. Look at how cute it is. I think it's just like perfect. This colorway of the spooky Lolita furniture matches her perfectly. And I just made her a little potion area. And of course, you can walk up here, sit on the couch. And yeah, no, I love it. She can just be up here, look over the rest of her room. As you can see, these are the coffee tables and the dining tables I just took and stacked up. And then using the pillars and the like fences to cover up the side of the tables, it gives it like a better illusion that it is like a wall and not just a bunch of tables stacked. I do love that you can still walk on it, and I think this room turned out really nicely. And of course, I love the potion shelves from the Imagination Celebration. I love that room a lot. And let's go to this one. And this one is not for any particular visitor, but it is my little fall harvest pumpkin patch vibe of a room. It is quite simple, but one thing I did to kind of elevate it is use both normal pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns in the pumpkin patch area because they are slightly different sizes. So it gives it a little bit of a variety and just like looks better. And then putting critters in, never forget that, because with the critters, it just chef's kiss. Putting the crowbirds in, it makes it look like we're outside, and I just love the vibes. And yeah, also just like stacking random things like this truck on here, it just elevates it, you know? Putting some flowers up here. I love mixing the Jam Jamboree stuff with the Days of Plenty stuff. It looks so good together. Don't forget that a lot of these things have different colorways when you dye them, like the Jam Jamboree stuff, and some of it looks really good with all of the like darker wood instead of like the colors or white. Let's head on over to some more cabins in the Spooky Swamp. Some of these I got really experimental with, like Ganta's. Ganta's does have these same vibes of the Days of Plenty and such, but look at this little bridge feature I added in. This one is one of my more creative things that I added in. Like you can actually walk through it. It's very nice. But one thing about this though is that you can't walk under it. So that's why I have it against the wall in the back. The way that I did this was, actually, let's remove this wall divider. But yeah, so these are the sauna benches. And then this is one of the Nordic stools. Because if you just put the bench like this, I think the step is a little too high. So I have this bench here to make it the perfect height. And then these lamps under here to make it perfect to balance the bridge on. And then you could just leave it like this, but I wanted to put the dividers here to just elevate it a bit. And yeah, I really like how this turned out. I wish you could change the color of the bridge or change the color of the benches. Could you imagine if the colors actually matched? It would be, honestly, a lot better. Let's go to Noberun's room. This one is very fun because a lot of times too, I do have their requirements still in the cabins after I make them very cute. And one thing about him is that he knows a lot about the weather. I wanted to give him something like weather themed, which of course I had to include all of these weather related things, like some of the rainy day clothes, and it looks like he's researching about rockets and meteorology in general. But yeah, I love using these arcade machines too. You'll see too in a few of my cabins, I use them as TVs because we don't have TVs in the game quite yet. But yeah, I like using them as little computers or TVs. I think it's perfect for this room, especially because it's like, oh, we're all researching, working on a rocket, you know? I definitely think he would be good friends with Choco Cat, don't you think? I think for now, let's head on back over to the Seaside Resort because I have a couple of other cabins to show you here. So let's start off by looking at Mary White's cabin. This is another example of making sort of like a lofted apartment where I have the kitchen on a second little level and everything else down here. And if you didn't know, the Hello Kitty furniture has different patterns. You can dye it after you do quests with some of her visitors. I love this one because it matches the little visitor outfit and it's just overall super cute. It looks so good with this lime green cabinets, the Nordic wallpaper, and the rustic flooring. The yellows, orange, and greens all look really good together, I'd say. But yeah, let's hop on over to another cabin that I think is kind of funny, George White's. He really said, Merry Christmas. I did want to just like give a character all of my Give and Gather year 1 stuff because it's kind of over the top, but I do really like how I made the bed floating up high. Oh, and of course, I have another antique lamp hidden down there because that's part of his requirements, I believe. Because I've got a couple right here, but then a hidden one down there. But yeah, these are just using the benches, you know, stacking them up like that. You can put some plants on them or other things to give it a little zhuzhing up. And yeah, I think it's perfect because it's a sleigh, Santa's sleigh maybe, it's flying, you know. So of course you're gonna need steps to get into it. But yeah, and then also putting the record player under here makes it feel not empty, you know, and actually fills up that space just a bit. But yeah, let's head on over to the grandpa's. Actually, I do want to show you this one. This one is pretty simple as well, but it does have a few little techniques that I like to use. Using the dresser backwards as a headboard, and then also using, of course, the dance hall bench as a shelf. But then underneath it, we've got the little pond from the springtime celebration over the sauna thing, which gives it like a hot tub vibe, you know. Since I gave him a bunch of winter stuff, it makes perfect sense that he's got a little hot tub to, you know, dip in after a cold, chilly day and then chill out by the fire, you know. But yeah. And of course, since he's Hello Kitty's grandpa, he's got a couple little Hello Kitty items thrown in there as well. But yeah, I really like to use those. And let's go to Mimi's cabin. I do want to show this one. This one is really simple in my opinion, but the colors together are chef's kiss. Since you can dye the shower curtain to match this set of the Hello Kitty furniture, which technically this is a Mimi set because of the side the bow's on, you can tell if it's Hello Kitty or Mimi. But yeah, and then this wallpaper from the rainy items, it just together, it's perfect. And I've got some like sewing stuff in here because Mimi loves her fashion. And of course her giant hat, if you know, you know, from that quest. And yeah, I just wanted to pop in and show this because I think it's super cute. But yeah, let's get on to some more interesting cabins once again. Let's go to Mount Hothead. I've got a few fun ones over here. Let's start off with our boy Haida. This one, I just said we'd go to an interesting one, but this one is quite basic as well. But I just would imagine, okay, this dude is totally a dual monitor kind of dude, you know? He's definitely got a dual monitor to play his games on, you know? This is his little man cave. He's got video games. He's got 2 Redsukos CDs. He's got his guitar. He's got pizzas, soda, garbage that needs to be taken out, you know? Yeah, comic books on the floor. But yeah. And it matches his outfit, which I also like to do sometimes, you'll see, is match their outfits to their cabins. Definitely more video game things, kind of as TVs. This is his man cave, his really basic kitchen, and yeah. I think that one's just a little funny. And let's go to Gory, our girl boss queen, okay? Her cabin also matches her outfit. And I'm using this technique again with the pillars and a critter tank. But yeah, she's got a little makeup station back here, her bed, little office, and then, oh, look at these floating shelves. One tip to do stuff like this though is that you have to play around with what items can actually stack, because if I take this away, I can't actually make the shelf here. So you have to just play around and figure out which items actually can stack, because some of them can't. But yeah, I like this one a lot. It does do my super basic thing, you know, dividing the room into like quadrants or halves. I really like that the best because it seems to like fill the space more. Let's hop on over to a couple more cabins here, and then maybe we'll go to Cloud Island, where I have some of my favorites as well. Fineko, I made her pink little office where she can do all of her social media stalking. This one does fit all of her requirements. That's why there's a random bed back here. Like if I didn't want to fit her requirements, I would just take the bed away. But I don't know, that's a little challenge I like to do, is still maintain the requirements after designing them a nice cabin. But yeah, this time I'm using these dance hall benches as a wall divider / shelf thingy. But yeah, this one's really simple, but I do really like how it turned out. And yeah, let's head over to Retsuko's mom. She has a very, very cute cabin. Matches her outfit, of course. But yeah, she's got a little lofted area where she can do her own little office things, like find Retsuko a perfect match, or or paint or something. I don't know. But then yeah, she's got her little kitchen and TV. But yeah, no, I love, love, love her color scheme. So I kind of incorporated that into like the wood. No offense, I guess, to her fur color, but yeah. And then her outfit color as well. I just, I love how this turned out. And then actually using the flooring from this biome too. I usually like tend to not use this one, but I thought it looked too good here to not use, you know? And yeah, dance hall benches again, but as steps this time. The most versatile thing. But yeah, if you look over here, so these are actually lockers from the Scholastic Celebration, which are the perfect height to use with fish tanks or critter tanks, you know? And then if we look underneath here, these are Hello Kitty counters. And then underneath those, I've got a couple of these pedestals from the Springtime Celebration, which just help hold everything up. And yeah, I do love how those look. And then just putting a little star down to try and distract from the cracks in the flooring, you know? But I do think it looks really nice. I think before we go to Cloud Island, let's take a little pit stop in Gemstone, because I have a couple of funny Gudetama cabins to show y'all. First up, just a normal one, pretty normal, but Gudetama literally everywhere. And for this one, I use these side tables as steps, which I think turned out really nicely. And you can actually go up there and crawl into the bed, you know, do. But yeah, I love how you can actually go up there and there's just Gudetama literally everywhere. I think that is the funniest thing. I used to have all of my decorative Gudetama displayed in here, but then I decided to split them up in all 3 of these rooms, because in this room, of course, Gudetama has a religion by Gudetama for Gudetama, right? I just thought this was so funny. After I saw those egg shrines, I was like, okay, I gotta do something else with this. We got some golden refrigerators, some heavenly Gudetamas in the clouds, and it's so funny. Yeah. I thought it was kind of silly. And then in this one, we've got a Gudetama themed ramen restaurant with some extra onigiris and of course dance hall shelves used up here to hold these bottles of potion. Using all the Nordic stuff looks super good with the Gudetama and these counters from the dessert boat stuff. And yeah. Kind of basic, but I love it. Okay, now let's make our way to Cloud Island. Oh, and then after that, we can go to City Town. But yeah, I do have cabins for every single character. And of course, Kiki and Lala share a room. And it's half and half, obviously, like everything. You know, half Kiki, half Lala. I do really like this one too. I think it's super cute. I don't think I'm going to show all of my character cabins in this video, but if you'd like to see those, maybe I can make another video. But yeah, I'm like not showing all of my cabins because I think it would take way too long. But honestly, if you do want to see them, yeah, comment down below, I guess. Because I would be willing to show them. Plus, there are some visitors that I just have not made cabins for. They've got lots of floor food still. If you want me to make another video. Plus, I do think we're getting some really good furniture in the next few events. So I would definitely love to redecorate some of these in the future too. But yeah, this is my little Cafe Cinnamon inspired room. Of course I had to have one of these, you know, of course. Cinema roll is my number one. Love this place so much, it's so cute. Of course, cinema roll everywhere, everywhere. But yeah, and of course Apple Arcade, so I have this. And yeah, super cute. Okay, let's head over to Cappuccinos Cabin. I love this cabin so much because you know Cappuccino loves his snacks. He loves to eat. He loves food. So of course I gave him the Days of Plenty vibes, but also Thanksgiving, you know. He's got this Thanksgiving room because of course if one character is gonna host Thanksgiving, it's probably Cappuccino, you know. He wants all of the pumpkin pie leftovers. But yeah, no, I love it. I think it's super cute. I used to have a bunch of the plush pals on these chairs, but I thought it looked a little too busy because the room is already insanely busy. But just having a couple little cinema roll ones thrown in there, I thought was cute enough. Using different patterns and colors on the chairs, I think gives it a really nice touch of like, oh, we just threw this together, like we all came together, like Charlie Brown Thanksgiving vibes, you know. Another dance hall bench up there as a shelf, of course. Oh yeah, and look, that's just a bag of flour. Don't be afraid to use like the random resources you find all over the ground in your cabins either. But yeah, let's go to Nuts Cabin. Most of this cabin to me is not the best, I'd say, but I did want to show you the bunk beds that I made because I do love how these turned out. Because of course, Coco and Nuts, if you didn't know, are twins. They're Cappuccino's little brothers. And I just made this as their sort of like shared bedroom. And yeah, the way that I did this though, you actually need these here because if you don't have these side tables there or something else, then the beds just kind of sink into each other. I mean, it's kind of like a day bed or like trundle, you know. I wasn't going for those vibes. I was going for full on bunk bed. And then using these two acts as like a little staircase, which I prefer. And then of course we got more of these video game arcade machines to be like a little TV. But yeah, it's like their little kid-core playroom. Now let's go on over to Mocha's room. Mocha's room, I feel like I'm gonna say this a million times for half my cabins that aren't like amazing. I'm just gonna say they're basic, but I love the colors of this one. I think it turned out super nicely. The pinks and the browns and whites. It's amazing. I think Mocha, being the fashionista that she is, would definitely have a room that's this aesthetically pleasing, you know? But yeah, I love it. And we have a dance hall bench as a shelf. I love it. Now let's go to, of course, Baby Milk. I love his room for the colorway that I did. I chose it to match these pillows. And oh, I think it's just absolutely perfect for him. It's very cute, and I just wanted to keep it all pastel and light and just throw in a few little cinnamon roll things since, you know, that's his bestie. But yeah, it's super duper precious. Now we can take a peek at Azukis. I think her room is a little chaotic because of the yummy furniture. It's just so many colors, but I did this little lofted thing again, and I like how it looks. Just to give you more ideas of like layouts, like you don't always have to put the little lofted area on one side. You can put it over here too, and use different tables or counters as the little lofted thing. Different steps, like this is a half wall from the Under the Sea celebration, I believe. That works really well too. And I do just want to show you Chiffon's room. Because the items that she requires are so chaotic, but I decided that I wanted to put it into like obviously 4 quadrants and then decorate based on like that one item, you know? Like I've got a little like gemstone area, seaside resort area, spooky swamp area, and then like coastal area, which I don't know. I liked how it turned out. Maybe it wouldn't be the nicest place to live, but if I'm gonna try and keep all of her requirements in a room, I want to do it like this, especially because it's so hard to match this, like the spooky sofa with the rustic bookcase. So I just thought, why not? I'll just do it like this, you know? This is a little idea for y'all. And let's run on over to Kurun's room. So I've actually been struggling to figure out what to do with this room, but I wanted to give Kurun like some sort of outdoorsy vibe. I know in the cinnamon roll universe, unicorns like to eat like star drops and stardust from lakes. So I wanted to include some ponds, some hay, I don't know, because horses, I guess. But I do love using these stars as steps, and using them as spiral staircases I think works so well. And I do need to add a few more things, like all of Kurun's requirements, but I think just to give you a little idea, I'm showing you these steps. And maybe if I do like a part 2, I'll finish this room and then show you what I think of. Now let's go to Poron's room. This has to be like one of my top 3 favorite cabins I've ever made. Not just for the colors, because it absolutely matches her, but for the like lofted area or the split level, whatever you call it. I think it just looks so good. This flooring looks so good with it. The spooky Lolita plus the iridescent stuff, and it all just looks amazing. And of course it satisfies her requirements, because since now we can put multiple items of clothing on a mannequin, I can fit everything she needs on just 2 instead of like 5 or 6, you know? And yeah, these are literally just all of the Hello Kitty counters and literally just like stacked. And it's absolutely perfect because they are a lower height than some of the other tables and counters, so I think they are perfect to use themselves as steps, because some of the other ones are way too steep, so I'd rather use like a bench or a half wall as a step instead of the table itself. But this one, absolutely perfect. Perfect. But yeah, let's head on over to City Town. So if you don't want to see anything City Town, this is your sign. The best one I want to show you in City Town is my arcade. I am obsessed with this room. So if you got City Town, you know all about the plush pals and such. But I love these arcade machines. Of course, I had to use them in an actual arcade, you know. With all of the Lifetime Jubilee stuff, it just works so perfectly. And of course, the music, I love it. I love putting the music to match the room vibes too. And yeah, I just love it. Of course, we've got popcorn machines too. Dance hall benches as shelves to show all the prizes you can get. Game tickets scattered everywhere. Some of the cafe coins, like someone, oh no, dropped a quarter. You know, I just love it. I think it's super cute and it looks so good with the wallpaper and the colors that I chose for all of the arcade machines. Yeah, I have a lot of other cabins, but I'd say that for the most part, it's just the best part about them is like the color scheme and everything. Not necessarily any stacking techniques. Oh, except maybe this one. This is like my Hangyeon room, comedy club vibes. But yeah, I do have a lot of character rooms, like I said earlier, that I could show y'all. Oh wait, let's go into Grandpa's room really fast. Yes, I do like this one a lot. I love the colors of this one, but yeah. It's quite simple. But yeah, let me know, would you like to see another part in the rest of my cabins? Or maybe I'll wait a couple of months and wait until we have some new furniture. Because every time we get new furniture, I am just so inspired. Especially because I do think with the events coming and repeating, we're gonna get so many new items. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Let me know, what is your favorite cabin that I showed you? And are you gonna use any of these decorating tips and tricks? Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.